Hello and welcome to this short video. In this video, you will learn why it is sometimes better to spend a few cents more and thus to become part of a really big community, to enjoy advantages, and to be able to really make a difference. Let's start with your employer. Deutsche Post DHL employs around 400,000 people worldwide. That's really a lot of people. People like you, who do their best every day and do a damn good job. For your work, you will of course get your wages and social benefits, special payments or bonuses. You have up to 6 weeks of vacation a year. Do not have to work an infinite number of overtime extra hours. Enjoys protection against dismissal. Everything you have a well-regulated working life. But why is everything so well-regulated? Is the employer Deutsche Post DHL so nice and thinks to be able to give you all this just like that because you give your best for him every day, your workforce? Unfortunately, this is not the case. Deutsche Post DHL is a for-profit company, a stock corporation. Anyone can become part of this company and acquire parts of the company. These are the so-called shares. If the company now generates good sales in the year, it pays out a bonus to the shareholders. The higher this dividend is, the more the share is worth, and the company Deutsche Post DHL becomes more valuable. The company Deutsche Post AG DHL has generated with its subsidiaries in recent years between 5 and 7 billion euros. A very high performance. Part of this sum is invested, for example, in real estate or inventory. Another part of it is the wages and salaries you get every month. The vast majority, however, is distributed as a dividend to the shareholders. What does all this have to do with the great community and the benefits? As I said at the beginning, as already mentioned, everything in this company is very well organized and above all regulated. These regulations have a name. Maybe you have heard of them before. They are called collective agreements. In a collective agreement, things such as pay, holidays, social benefits, and many other things are regulated and codified in the sense of you, the employee. The employer must adhere to the things agreed there. It is a contract. But with whom did the employer negotiate this contract? Now the big community comes into play. This large community is you, your colleague next to you, the colleagues who load and sort your letters and parcels, the driver in the yellow mail truck. They are all part of this great community. A large community is of course also organized. Otherwise, it would be like in an anthill. The organization is taken over by a trade union. In this case, the United Services Union, or ver.di for short. ver.di organizes and takes care of various areas in the world of work, be it salespeople, garbage collection, or you as an employee of Deutsche Post DHL. ver.di actually has the most members of Deutsche Post AG DHL. At the moment, there are more than 140,000 colleagues. Such a collective agreement is usually concluded for a limited period of time between the employer and the trade union. If a collective agreement expires, it is usually renegotiated. Demands of the employer and the trade union are then incorporated into these negotiations. On the whole, as a collective bargaining party, there is an agreement on the content and scope of the collective agreement, but there are also exceptions. If the demands of the union, for example, for a higher wage or protection against dismissal are not taken seriously by the employer or even rejected, a dispute arises between the two collective bargaining parties. In order to build up pressure on the employer and perhaps to change his mind after all, there is the means of industrial action, the strike. This pressure, which is caused by a strike, is of course very high with a membership of 140,000, so the employer will give in very quickly and seek agreement or the demand. For example, for the extension of the protection against dismissal without any condition, except the more members a union has, the higher the pressure it can exert on the employer. As an example, perhaps the following situation: the increased parcel volumes as a result of the corona pandemic, the associated additional expenses, and the resulting increase in sales of Deutsche Post AG DHL were a real rain of money for the shareholders. However, the Swiss Post Board of Management did not initially think of a premium. Now, you could march as a community of about 5,000 organized in front of the Post Tower in Bonn and demand a piece of the cake. Those responsible on the 41st floor of the building would hardly pay attention to this group of people. However, if ver.di were to appear in front of the tower with 140,000 colleagues, it would probably begin to falter and derail one or the other in the building facial features. I would like to show that it is worth spending a few cents a month more. While ver.di strengthens your back, other organizations tell fairy tales and distribute sweets. While ver.di negotiates for you, other organizations do not have collective agreements. Not the one who roars the loudest is right. The truth is conveyed with soft tones. ver.di. Who else?